Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of WTFGamersCast, the official WTF Gamers Only podcast. I'm Jarrell, and I'm here with Marissa, Grayson, and Brandon, and we're here to talk all about E3. Now that E3 is over, we're going to just discuss what we thought about each conference, because some people have been wondering what we've been thinking about it. So, we're going to go ahead and go in order by press conference, starting with EA. So, what'd you guys think of it?
So as far as EA's press conference, it was a pretty good conference overall. They announced a lot of cool games. Personally, there wasn't a huge amount that I personally was interested in. In fact, there was only 3 games that really caught my attention. One was A Way Out, which I think Grayson agrees with me that game looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Grayson, you played a bit of Brothers. Tell me a little bit about why you like A Way Out.
Yeah, Way Out is being developed by the same guys who made Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which I think just came out on the PS3, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been on Xbox as well. But it was a 2-player cooperative game. You can also play it by yourself. You play these 2 brothers and use one controller to control both characters with 2 different sticks. And it was a really fun game, really melancholy story, whatever. But A Way Out is from the same developers. And they're kind of taking that cooperative gameplay and taking it to the next level by making a split screen only cooperative experience. And the game really just interested me because I've never seen a game like that before where you're playing as 2 different characters doing different things in a narrative driven story.
Yeah, it's very different.
So, you've played other games before where you're doing split screen, but you're playing. You're either, maybe a shooter or something, or not. You're never really doing anything that's during a cutscene. Or there was one scene, for example, they showed one player's watching a cutscene and the other player is moving around. You can actually see the other player during the cutscene of the other player on the other screen, which is really cool to me.
Yeah, I think it'll be a cool. It's definitely not going to be for everyone, especially since the fact that it has to be played 2-player locally as well. But I think it'll for some people who just want to play a game with maybe a family member, significant other, or a good friend. I'm probably gonna be playing that game with a friend of mine, so I'm looking forward to it in that regard. Yeah, looks pretty cool. Oh boy, go ahead. The floor is yours.
I'm one of those people who did not like A Way Out immediately after I saw it. I thought, I don't like the story. I don't care about the prison break. I think there are lots of problems with forcing a game to be co-op only, especially if you want to play through the story by yourself. If you don't have friends to play with, you're at, the mercy of another online player who, just like Grayson said, you can play while you're in cutscenes. They can essentially ruin the story for you in cutscenes. You can be stuck there watching a cutscene, and then the next minute something horrible can happen because you're playing with an a-hole online who decides to be a poop head and destroy your experience. I also don't think it's as unique as a lot of people are making it out to be. To me, it looked like, I don't know if you guys have played Resident Evil 5 with a friend as Chris and Sheva. You can pretty much leave each other in that entire game. The only difference is when a cutscene happens, you both see it and you end up back at the same place. But I don't think it's as unique as we're making it, or as they made it out to be, and I just have personal problems with it. I don't like the story. I don't like the fact that it is a forced co-op. I do love that it's bringing back couch co-op, which I think a few of the press conferences did touch on, but it's not that great to me. Just my opinion. Go ahead, Brandon.
I get it. I mean, they're really limiting themselves doing being just split screen and not being able to be played by a person by themselves, because there's a lot of people who just don't like playing games with other people. I totally get it, but yeah, they're limiting themselves. But I mean, if it turned out to be a really good focused narrative experience, I think it could be pretty fun. Pretty cool thing.
See, I don't think it's going to be a focused narrative experience that's good, because from what I've seen, it's 2 dudes trying to break out of a prison, and it didn't look that interesting to me. And then my biggest complaint was that afterwards, I did look forward to the stuff that's going to happen after they are out of the prison. Like, I'm super excited for that because I think that's where the game is going to open up. But at the same time, I saw two fugitives run to a hospital to see what I'm presuming be their child being born, which is not where you go right after you escape prison. So I don't know how long the game's going to last if that's our decision. I've also seen them be in a car and get caught. I don't know if that's part of the narrative. I don't know if that's making the wrong decisions, but I don't see this game lasting very long. Of course, depending on how you play. I mean, what if you're stuck with someone and you guys can't even get out the prison? I don't know. It's just not. Yeah.
I think it'll be one of those titles where, for some people, it's kind of like you have to wait and see other people play it, because right now we don't really know exactly how it's going to be played. I know that we saw a little bit of gameplay when they showed it off, but depending on even the AI, because I know that with one of the titles that was in Microsoft's was Hello Neighbor, and I started reading up on that, talking about how it has such an advanced AI. If it's something like that where it is actually challenging to get out of the prison because you have to have both of you kind of be charismatic and keep your heads down when you need to, work on escaping when you need to, in that regard, it might be more for the challenge seekers who are really looking for something that, just is difficult. It doesn't just give itself up. But at the same time, like you said, I think it kind of breaks down to how long you're going to be in the prison, what you can do while you're in there, how long until you get out, and what you can do once you get out, and how long that even lasts. Because if it's kind of up to you, I could see where it gets too boring if you're out there for so long and you're escaped now. Cool. But, depending on how long it follows you, how many opportunities there are for people to catch you, to notice you, to recognize your face, I think it could go either way. It could be really interesting, or it could be a risk that, some people are excited for, but ultimately backfires on them.
The last thing I do want to say about it is to add to your list of things that you need a friend. Because I think a lot of the gameplay is going to be determined on who you're playing with. It's that simple. And if you're if you are a child seeker who has a friend that's not good at video games but wants to play with you, and you know that this game isn't going to get anywhere for you, this might not be the title to bring your not good playing friend in on. I think the entire focus of the game is going to be determined on who you play with, and that can be great or bad. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Continue, Brandon, telling us about EA.
Sure. One other thing that so I personally am not that interested in like the different sports games that come out each year. As we established in past podcasts, I'm apparently Madubro, so I should be pumped about those. I haven't fully embraced that identity yet, so as of right now, I'm not that excited about it. But I will say, though, we talked about it a little bit before we got started today. I do love how the sports games are, putting a more of a focus on like the single player like narrative and its storytelling and all that stuff. Like the career mode used to be a very bare bones thing where you just created your own character and just won a lot of games until your team just won the playoffs or the championships, whichever corresponds to the sports game and talk. But now you have like actual story driven narratives where you have like choices where the story can go in different places, almost kind of like a BioWare game or a Telltale game where you can just like have different consequences for your actions as you go. Try to. It's. I want to say it's like one of those sports movies, but it's more than that because you have a saying where it goes, and then you don't just kind of like skip through these games and whatever. Like all these games are important to you because you're kind of like feeling like you really are the player while also seeing this narrative. And for people who love sports games, I think that's genuinely a great thing that this is happening more and more. Like straight up thumbs up. Straight up thumbs up for that.
Like I don't play sports games, and I probably will never really get into playing Madden or FIFA or whatnot. But I just really appreciate EA for pushing the story a little more during the conference and really showing off these cool modes that they're adding to the games. So I just really commend them for that.
Let me steal this away from you for a little bit, Brandon,
sure,
if you don't mind.
I don't know.
Overall, I thought EA was good. And one of the reasons is because, like you were talking about, I'm also not a big sports fan, but it's exactly what you said. Their focus on games was a lot of, the story elements behind it. And like I've always said, I love a good story. If I got to play football to get a good story out, I might just go pick up Madden NFL 18 if I feel like the story's that, compounding in that type of situation. It's I think EA did a really good job at showing new aspects to what people have already seen, because we've already seen the Madden and the FIFA and the NBA Live, but even NBA Live, the choices that you can make in those games were more interesting for me to watch than it would have been in a past conference. So I think great on them for making sports games more interesting, following models that they see are going to make people more interested, in my own opinion, of course. I thought Need for Speed was fun. It was cool to look at. It was nice to see the slow-mo stuff and the car racing and crashing the other cars and stuff. You already know how I feel about A Way Out. We got that tiny preview of Anthem, but then we had the rest of the conference devoted to Star Wars Battlefront 2, and as everyone has probably already heard before, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. My first Star Wars was Star Wars Battlefront, the last one, which sucked, and everybody can confirm that it sucked. But after seeing Star Wars Battlefront 2, I am now a renewed Star Wars fan, and I wasn't even a fan. Now I'm like, holy crap, I want to watch Darth Maul fight Rey. I want to be Darth Maul and fight Rey. I want to go through the 3 phases of this. I want to fly in the sky. I want to be in a tank. I want to ride on the little ugly robot things. Like, there's so much going on there. The 20 versus 20 battles, that entire thing just won all of EA for me. And
that was really good. That was really everything about that battle. And by the way, shout out to the fact that they knew enough to dedicate half an hour to it. They knew that was the big one that people were waiting for, especially after they had done like a review a few months ago where they showed that they were fixing like many of the major problems with the first one, like no story, the fact that you were only limited to the Empire versus Rebellion and everything goes. Yeah. And there was just a lot of DLC that they had like early. Now we're getting the Splatoon model where you're getting like free DLC as the game is going forward. You have all 3 eras. Yes. Fucking thumbs up to that shit, like straight up. And then all the fan service is going on there too. It's just, and then there's a story. There's a really good story too. Well, I mean, it sounds like it's a good story. It sounds like it's cool. It's interesting. It's bridging from Return of the Jedi all the way to Force Awakens, and that's something I actually really care about. That's radical.
And Janina Gavankar, excuse me if I mispronounced her name.
She is
awesome host. She made that whole thing a lot of fun, too.
Yeah,
I think EA did a great job putting her up there. She was excited. I was excited watching her be excited. I was excited watching her probably crash whatever the things are called in the air right into a building, because I was like, oh, that's probably something I'm going to do. I loved I think that was a great way to wrap it up. And overall, I think EA did a really good job at the conference.
Yeah.
So, what were you guys' favorite titles from EA?
Star Wars.
Okay.
Grayson just is
A Way Out would have to be the favorite showing.
Well, Star Wars for me too.
Yes, I'm outnumbered.
So, of course, the next conference after EA was Xbox. And I have some feelings about their conference that I'll save for later. So, what did you guys think of that one?
Well, I guess I'll start off because I don't have too much to say about it. I'm not an Xbox owner myself, but I'm always curious for these conferences just to see kind of like some of the stuff they had. I think Sea of Thieves looks pretty cool. I think it's very colorful looking. I think it's a very cute, colorful pirate game that looks kind of fun. But what else? There was also what really got me, and this is not even an Xbox exclusive, but I'm going to talk about it because they talked about it on their conference. Dragon Ball Fighter Z,
so good looking.
It's so amazingly It's so amazing looking. It's being made by Arc System Works, the developer of the Guilty Gear games. It's just so. Fun fact: I think, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they had made not too long ago a game for 3DS called Extreme Butoden, which I hear very good things about that game, but. Its player base was already going to be skewed because that was a 3DS game with like this kind of like pedigree of fighting games, And the biggest thing I was always wondering about was like, why was that a 3DS game? That's just like that needs something like that needs to be console. Lo and behold, here we go. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. We have the console DBZ fighting game that actually looks like it could be competitive as well as being fun. There's only 6 characters revealed right now for you DBZ fans, but there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more. I don't think it's gonna be quite as big as a roster as say the Budokai Tenkaichi because you can't.
Oh God. Yeah.
That's 100 over 100 characters. It's not meant to be balanced at all. It's just those the Budokai Tenkaichi games. Those are just literally for fans that just want to pull your character and just go have fun. It's not meant to be balanced whatsoever. It's just for fun. It's for fun. But this, on the other hand, is just like actual fighting game with Dragon Ball, and that's amazing. I think that looks really cool.
Yeah, I think it's been a while since we've seen a 2D Dragon Ball Z fighter.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, because all the fighters have been 3D fighters where you're like, you're flying, speeding across like the world stage, and like you're breaking the buildings and stuff, and you're like, it's just super like high octane, like shooting blasts and Kai with the Kai blast and stuff everywhere.
Ki blast, yeah.
Kai, yeah. And this one looks more, like you said, it's more fighter, more of a like actual fighter, and this can actually be competitive, and I'm sure fans will really like it, and it looks really stylish. The art style is beautiful, so
yeah, for sure. Definitely looking forward to it, and that's Microsoft for me. Like, oh well, I mean, they talk about Xbox One X. I don't really have too much to say about that. I mean, I'll probably just chime in if you guys talk about it in a bit, but otherwise, whoever wants to take it next for Microsoft can go right ahead.
So I would like to say. It's actually not as bad as it's going to sound. I also thought that Xbox did a really good job. I thought the conference went very well for them. I think
it was a good conference.
I think they learned from the past, because one of my biggest complaints about Xbox from before was I don't think they focus on games enough. And then when they started and they showed me the Porsche, I was like, oh my God, here we go again. They're not going to focus on the games. But they proved me wrong. They said, hey, Jarrell, you a-hole, we've got 44 games, so shut your mouth. And 22 of them are exclusives, so here's that. And I was like, all right, I hear you, Xbox, my bad. And I got 44 games and a new console, and I don't think I can be upset at Microsoft for that, because I think they listen to fans. I think they realize that this is what we want. E3 is about games, and they gave us an hour and however long of games. Now, saying that and saying how happy I am, I do have an Xbox that I haven't been playing. So this conference was also a refresher of, hey, oh my God, I'm finally going to have games to play. It may not be all 44, but, 5 out of 44 ain't bad. It is, but like, whatever. At least they've got 5. A lot of them are not coming out this year. But I'm still happy that Microsoft was like, Xbox was like, hey, it's about games, and we know that that's what you guys want, so here's 44 games. But still, I think overall, it also goes back to your conversation about Dragon Ball, Brandon. I think that was one of the problems with the Xbox press conference, which was your standout was a title that was not an exclusive.
Yeah, I thought that I was actually going to mention that, but go on ahead.
Your one thing that you liked wasn't an exclusive. Some of the exclusives on there are smaller titles, but I'm still happy with them. Like, I'm excited for State of Decay 2. I'm excited for Sea of Thieves. Grayson and I played Cuphead at E3, and I am so looking forward to that. But the biggest ones that I saw there, like Anthem and Assassin's Creed.
They showed Life is Strange too.
Life is Strange. Those are all not exclusives. Thank you. Those are all not exclusives. So, it's good to see that I can play these games, but I already know I can play them, and I'll probably play them on another system anyway. And I don't think that they did a good enough job, in my opinion, selling the Xbox One X. I think from what I personally got from the conference and some other people I talked to, it was like, hey, you got an Xbox One S, you can have this one, but it plays native 4K now, so go spend double the price of the S for it. That's what I got from it. I didn't get the information that I was looking for, and then they kept saying, okay, well, we've got some consoles selling. Well, they didn't say console selling. They said
launch.
Thank you, launch titles. That sounds like they kept mentioning Xbox launch titles for the Xbox One X, but those launch titles were things like Assassin's Creed Origins. So, like, yeah, that's a launch title for this console, but it's also a game I can get on any other console I have. So it's not like this thing is unique. And then one of the ones that they did show off was the one with a fox's tail, and I was like, wow,
Super Lucky Tail.
Oh, thank you. Super Lucky Tail. My bad. Super Lucky Tail. Oh, this is cute, but if this is your console seller, okay.
And Crackdown 3, I'm pretty sure,
yes,
is supposed to be their launch title for the Xbox.
But you can also get it on your Xbox One S and Microsoft Windows.
Okay, but I have to go back and defend them for why there isn't anything exclusive to the One X, because this is something I said, I think in our last predictions. I think this is something I've written about.
Really quick, that I don't want exclusive like Xbox One X titles. I think that would be stupid.
But that's what you're saying, because Crackdown 3 is a launch title for the Xbox One X coming out. Yes, you can play it on your Xbox One S, but it's coming out on the same day as the X. So that way you do have a brand new exclusive on the day that it comes out. And Crackdown 3 was a game that has a lot of fans pumped. They've been waiting for this game for a long time. So I think my thing is like, they did give us a game. Yeah, it wasn't like a Halo. It wasn't like a Gears of War. But it was still something exclusive to the Xbox that Microsoft fans have been waiting for a while. That is still coming out day one on the Xbox One X.
You're correct. So let me try to clarify my point, which was there was no huge AAA title that's coming out for all of my Xbox systems that was mentioned at the conference that's exclusive for my Xbox. That's what I mean. Because the ones that I saw that I was personally interested in, Anthem, Assassin's Creed, I can go get them on any other system. I can get Crackdown 3, which you said, is an exclusive. So that's why I'm saying I think they did a good job, because I do think that they addressed it. Just for me, it wasn't what I was looking for in comparison to some of the other conferences.
Yeah, and I think that they did a really good job of listening and focusing on games. I think a lot of people, including myself, were a little disappointed that there were titles that were shown off last year that have been canceled or delayed, and with a lot of the delays, it was either time and time again or delays that ultimately ended in cancellation. So to see a massive lineup of games that are indies, of games that we've been waiting for, I'm really excited for Sea of Thieves to come out, and so far I don't think it's had any type of delays in its production. I don't think there are going to be. We haven't heard any type of...
Did they announce a release date?
That's a good question. I don't remember anymore.
I don't either.
So far away. So far away.
I think let me not even. I don't remember. So
the Crackdown 3 is coming out. It's coming out this year, right?
Yeah. Sea of Thieves is 2018. I think it's supposed to be early 2018, but I don't think it has an official date yet. I think it's just a window. But so. I think that they did a good job of having a mixture of things that are coming out this year, as well as things to look forward to in the somewhat near future. Life is Strange being one of those, Middle Earth, Shadow of War, which again, I know isn't an exclusive, but it was still cool to see the trailers and the gameplay that they had to show for that. I really liked their Shadow of War presentation. So going back to what you said, I have to defend Microsoft. And I feel like
I love when you do.
That's why I jumped in on.
Yeah, please. I love when you do. You tell me. I love it.
Your point of them listening to gamers and focusing on games, is 100% what I do agree with, is that they really did make this E3 about games, about being a gamer. Of course, they had to talk about their new console for the first 5 minutes. But then after that, it was just kind of,
back to
and
games.
This is also going to be on the Xbox One X, but continue games. So
yeah.
I think they did a really good job this year.
Yeah, which is why I said I agree. I think they did good. And I also think it was smart to, because I was going to mention the titles that you mentioned as well. I also think it was smart to bring some of the titles that I personally would have expected to see at the PlayStation conference over at Microsoft. For example, Shadow of War. That's one that I personally connect to PS4. Same thing with Life is Strange. You know, these Square Enix games, these are the ones that I'm like, oh, I'm going to play them on my PlayStation. And then Microsoft was like, hold on, Xbox, you can totally play it here. Not only can you play it, we're going to show it off here so you guys know that we have it. So I do, and even the Dragon Ball Z one. Another one that I associate personally with my PlayStation and Xbox is like, hey, we're going to show you another game that you can get next year or in the future that you're going to want to grab your Xbox for and play. So I think that was also a really smart move. I love game after game after game. I think that's what EA is about. Not EA, E3 is about. And especially the bigger ones. I'll talk more about it in Sony when I do a little comparison about what I mean. But yeah, I think they did great.
Of course.
So what were you guys' favorite reveals from the Xbox press conference?
Mine was actually Ashen.
That's a good one.
I'm always like a fan of kind of the indie titles that look like they could really be something amazing. I got burned last year because I fell in love with a game called Fee that has since gone nowhere. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen with Ashen. It doesn't look like it's going to happen with Ashen. But I just really liked the trailer for it, and then once I started looking into it more, it sounds like it's going to be an amazing emotional ride, and I'm so for it.
I mean, for me, the only game that they announced I know I'm going to be playing is the Life is Strange prequel. So it was cool that Microsoft had that game to announce, but it takes place before Life is Strange, and you play as Chloe. Mm-hmm. So that's really good. It's coming out. The first episode comes out, I think, in August. So.
Oh wow, that's sooner than I thought.
Yeah,
it'll probably run through
August
the rest of the year.
30th or 31st, I think.
It's late August. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
There's 3 episodes, so it's actually being developed by a different team. So it's not being developed by Don't Nod. It's by someone else because they're actually working on a sequel to the game as well.
Oh.
So I guess to pass the time, they're doing this little 3-episode arc that shows off more of Chloe's life before, she met Max already, but it takes place when they like split apart or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
When they weren't talking.
Yeah, during those dark days.
Where she met her new friend Rachel and.
Don't spoil me. I still haven't played the first one. Don't do this. My favorites actually are going to be 2 Xbox exclusives. See, because I care about my Xbox, even though it doesn't sound like it. And that was Cuphead.
Yeah.
And State of Decay 2. I played this first one. I loved it. Being able to play with friends. I'm super excited. And I would love to play Ashen with Marissa whenever she lets me. And it comes out. And, I want to play Cuphead with you. So, yes, I am still excited for Xbox. Those were my 2 favorites, personally. Just because I've played both of them and I know how fun they're going to be. So those were mine. Brandon, what was yours?
Yeah, mine was definitely the DBZ fighter, the Dragon Ball Fighter Z for sure. All the games, like there was a lot of cool games that were up on stage and all that stuff. But ultimately, I'm a big Dragon Ball fan, and I'm also a fairly big fighting game fan. So just seeing this actual good fighting game with DBZ, it means a lot. So I'm looking forward to that.
And I know Toby's not here, but shout out to Ori and the Blind Forest sequel, because I know he loved that one.
We miss you, Toby.
We miss you, Toby.
So, right after Xbox was Bethesda.
Oh, boy. Oh, sorry, Bethesda fans. We don't mean to sound so...
Sorry.
I feel like the only person who liked it.
Oh. So what Bethesda's the E3 was? There's a lot of people that says that they shouldn't have an E3 press conference at all. I half disagree. You know what it kind of felt like? It kind of felt like a Bethesda. Nintendo, how they do their Nintendo Directs. Mm-hmm. That's what this felt like. This felt like a Bethesda Direct. Like this felt like something that Bethesda should have maybe have done. Like maybe a month. They probably should have of course, been at E3, but maybe not have done a conference. Maybe more just this. Because
like a video.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like just like maybe a pre-E3 video where they just kind
Or
of do
just
that.
or just don't have a conference and just they could have sprinkled in all their little announcements in
Within
Sony's
other
conference, a
people's.
Microsoft conference, and some of them in Skyrim for Nintendo's conference. So I don't think I feel like it all could have just fit together in the other conferences pretty well instead of having to show off everything in their own little presentation.
The Bethesda Land thing.
Well,
Yeah.
here I go disagreeing with everyone again. I think Bethesda has in the past given us great E3 press conferences, especially their first one. It was
Yes,
one of
their
the
first
most
one was
memorable
amazing.
press conferences.
Oh yeah, I will 100% agree with that.
And I think this year, Bethesda always impresses me because they always have new titles to show off that they keep under wraps until E3. And they're always the ones that are like, hey, you can go buy this. At least by the end of this year, you're going to have a new game from us. And it's going to be a brand new announcement. And
I do want to piggyback off that real quick.
True.
I am absolutely ecstatic that for Bethesda that every single game they announced at their conference is coming out by the end of this year. That's definitely a thumbs up for them.
And not only that, but I think they deserve to give their own time to their titles, because Microsoft, Xbox, and PlayStation, you get a certain amount of time for these games, and PlayStation's obviously going to focus on their exclusives, so they're going to give a lot of time to their exclusives. Microsoft, they're throwing 44 titles at us in an hour and a half, so where does that leave my Wolfenstein 2 trailer? Where does that leave my The Evil Within trailer? These games that people are super excited for, I think they deserve their own time. I thought Bethesda Land was super cute, too. Now, do I care about VR as much as they shoved it down my throat? No. Do I think Link was ugly on the Switch? Yes.
Yes.
Do I think they made some bad decisions with focusing on the Quake Championship? Sure. But they knew to round it out with two really big titles. And for me, after seeing EA and Xbox, that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for those big AAA titles for my games that I can play, for my consoles that I can play this year, that I want to shell out $60 for. I didn't play the first Evil Within. I watched that trailer clenching my teeth, like, what's going to happen next? And then it was like Evil Within 2, and I was like, well, shit, I want this. And then right after that, I didn't play Wolfenstein, the original. I'm so into the Wolfenstein 2. That was like my, okay, E3 has started moment at the end of Bethesda. So I commend them for giving me stuff that's coming out this year and giving me things that I know other gamers are looking forward to and things that I now want to jump into. But do I think they did as good as they've done in the past? No. But I still don't think they did bad. C- at the list.
Yeah, I can't say that that Wolfenstein 2 trailer, like I've never played, I don't know anything about Wolfenstein. Every time I saw gameplay footage or trailers, I was like, doesn't really look like my type of game. But that trailer, like, I feel like that game showed off like a whole different vibe that game wasn't showing off to begin with. So I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, I think I can even play that game if when it comes out.
That's what E3 is about. Yes.
If it fits that tone that the trailer was putting out. I feel like a lot of trailers can do that, but then the game actually ends up being something completely different.
Yeah.
But that game does look really interesting, and I'm also excited for the Evil Within 2. The first game had a few problems that kind of hindered the gameplay a little bit, but I feel like they're gonna fix those mistakes and make a really cool sequel that I actually really like.
And that's why I can't give them a bad grade, because I feel that if they didn't have their own press conference, we wouldn't have gotten that Wolfenstein 2, like, however long it was, trailer that made people like you and I be like, holy shit, the tone of this is something I might be able to play. So yay for Bethesda from me. So what were you guys' favorite titles from it?
I liked the video
there
they
were
played before it.
Which one? Sorry.
The video they played before it.
Oh, the old timey Bethesda Land thing.
No. When they were talking to like the kids of the developers and the people.
Oh yeah.
That was my favorite part of Bethesda.
Not your games.
No, not this time, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, my favorite was the Evil Within too. What was it?
My answer is a bit boring, but I really do. I really am looking forward to Skyrim on Switch. Yeah, I know, 6-year-old game, whatever. This is the version I want to play because I can play it on the go. Ugly as that Link face may be, it's still cool that you can get his outfit in the game. But yeah, Skyrim on Switch is mine. Fight me.
Yes, no, I love it. Please defend Skyrim on the Switch. I appreciate the defense because I gotta defend myself all the time. So I'm down.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I'm sure. I mean, it's a game that's been released so many times within the 6 years that it's been out, so it must be good. I just never got around to trying for myself because it just wasn't enough interest. But hey, having it on the Switch is just what I needed. So there you go.
There we go. Thanks. Mine was Wolfenstein 2. So next up was Devolver, which I didn't see.
Right.
Oh, so please, Brandon, tell us about Devolver.
You mean the Crack Show 2017?
Crack Show 2017.
The anti-E3.
The anti-E3.
Okay. You say that, and that's exactly what that was. So the entirety of Devolver's conference was just like a parody of E3 itself, because it starts off with the woman on the stage talking to a live quote unquote audience that actually sits there. It's just a bunch of clips of people that are just like looking at something. Down to the fact that she fired a gun on stage. As soon as she fired the gun on stage, I was like, okay, this conference is gonna be great. I love how the conference went back in between being like an actual conference where they showed trailers for games and going to like some ridiculous stuff. My favorite bit was just like, we now have a system where people are always saying, well, I'm going to throw money at the screen, but nothing's happening. Here's the screen you can actually throw money in, and then we'll actually get your money. Fantastic. Oh, boy. And then my favorite bit was at the very end of the conference where it's like, okay, people are always complaining that they're not getting their games soon enough. Early access isn't soon enough. We're proud to announce earliest access, where as soon as the dots enter the developer's brain, the game goes right into your hands, and you pay us your money to give it to us. Now, with this new system, your shitty comments will instantly change the game right then and there. So the conference is like,
yeah, I'm still kind of shell-shocked that I watched like any of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was funny, it was entertaining, and if you have more of, like the R-rated sense of humor and everything like that, there were some fantastic fucking moments from it. But at the same time, I'm like, this is just like a meme on acid. I don't know what I'm watching. Yeah. I don't know why I'm still watching it. And then I know for us, we got really confused when they were done with the conference and the pre-show started. And we were like, is this still the same thing? What the fuck is this? What is this frog fighting game?
Oh, the frog fighting game. Oh, no. My favorite part was when they started the pre-show and they showed off this game that was literally just other games just put into one. You play this game for exactly 30 seconds, then switches to somebody else's game. And then they ask them, wait a minute, if this is other people's game that you're just putting into like a compilation that you're switching between, how are you going to make any money on this? Oh, we can't make any money on this. This is illegal as fuck.
Yeah. I think that was one of the first lines I heard from that.
It's like in a movie when people don't want to go to prom, so they make it like an anti-prom, and everyone's like, I'm going to make my own prom.
Yeah.
Nobody's allowed. Nobody can.
It's going to be me and my stuffed animals dancing. Go fuck yourself.
All gonna want to be in my answer.
Guys.
So I got a pre-show was just an ass trip. There was wrestling matches during that pre-show, and then an actual wrestler appeared on stage, put the host in a submission hold, where they then proceeded to take a lantern and destroy it on the stage. By 5:30, when they showed Sonic Forces gameplay, that entire stage was fucked.
Yeah.
It was destroyed.
I just want to reach out to the crew that worked the pre-show and apologize. I am so sorry. That looked insane. I hope you all got paid lots and lots of money.
I hope they did too.
Holy fuck. I don't think I would have been able to stand on that set and deal with the craziness.
Well, apparently they lost $100,000, so I don't think anybody.
Hopefully part of that
money.
Paying.
Bring it back next year, though. You'll make your money back next year, guaranteed. People know now. People know, and I will stay up.
I feel like
not miss that gameplay of.
I feel like the Devolver one was like one of those sleeper hits. Nobody knew it was happening until all of a sudden people started sending.
Until it was over.
And I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
I saw a lady bleeding and a guy vomit on a computer, and I knew that I was done. Speaking of done, next
Hold
up.
on. I have one last thing to say
Okay.
before we actually move on for real. I will say though, when they actually did show game. Well, no, they didn't actually show gameplay of this but there's a joke when they were throwing money on the screen. They have this game coming out called Absolver, which is coming out not too long. That game is something I am legitimately looking forward to, sort of. I don't know for sure I'm still going to get it, but it does look fun. I wish they would have showed actual gameplay of it, but hey, I guess that wasn't the point of the conference. So yeah, now I'm done.
Okay. Oh God.
You can't. So they can't even put that on the same grading scale as any other conference. It's just another level.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
That's
was
the dark side of
literally
the
something
internet
else.
level.
Next up was Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, yay.
I loved Ubisoft so much. I
Ubisoft had a
cried
good
so hard. The whole conference was so adorable. So it starts out with Mario and Rabbids, and just seeing the emotion from the team members that worked on it. You know, they cut to the developer who was in the audience, and he started crying.
So sad, I know.
It was so adorable, and it made me instantly fall in love with Mario and Rabbids. I was like, I don't even care what gameplay you show me right now. I want to play this game and support these people.
I just want to play it for him. Please give it to me.
But I think there was no better way to start their conference, emotions aside. If you're a gamer and you're like, fuck emotions, I don't want those. I think Mario and Rabbids was the perfect way to start off Ubisoft, because this is a collaboration we've known about. But to actually see it come together and see it look really good together, you know, the Rabbids and the Mario style really kind of colliding together well, I feel like. You know, and just even hearing that this is a Mario game unlike anything we're going to see, I know I am a Nintendo fan, but currently I don't have a Wii U and I don't have a Switch. So, you know, seeing something for the Switch that plays so unlike anything else that we've ever seen from Mario, that looked really exciting from a really passionate team. Like, I'm totally in. I'm sold. I want this game. I want the Switch so I can play this game on it. Like, I'm on board, and I think that was the best way Ubisoft could have started their conference.
I think that bringing out Miyamoto was a nice little sprinkle on top too.
I think so. It's nice to see Miyamoto on an actual E3 stage for a change.
Yeah, it was really nice. Especially to see him on stage at another conference.
Publisher.
It was really cool. I liked it.
And I think, too, it just shows the collaboration of Ubisoft and Nintendo, because that wasn't the only title that they announced that was going to be on the Switch. And so just to see support from within the industry for the Switch after seeing how different it was from the other consoles, I can't imagine from a developer side that it's super easy to make things for the Switch, but seeing that support of these two huge company heads come together and hold up their replica guns from in Mario and Rabbids, like that was
that was nice. I want those guns. I want the bullet bill gun. Can I have a bullet bill gun?
Yes, please? I want a bullet bill gun.
So for me, I loved it because of the emotion. But if I am putting the emotions aside, which I will do,
push those thoughts aside.
It was okay for me. Emotion aside, it was okay for me, just because a lot of the titles that were announced were not my thing. The Crew 2, South Park, sorry. I heard it was really good. Oh. It's meh for me.
South Park was so good.
Skull and Bones was one that I was like, oh, I'll play this like 5 times and then I'll have no one to play it with anymore because it's going to be done. Just Dance, I didn't know the songs, for one.
Okay, hold on. I want to talk about Just Dance real quick. One thing I want to say about it. Did you see what platforms that this new Just Dance is coming out for? Did you happen to get that?
It's all of them, isn't it?
Everything.
Yeah.
And it is coming out for all current consoles, so, you know, Switch, your PS4, your Xbox One. It is also coming out for past. It's also coming out for past systems. It's coming out for your PS3, your 360, and your Wii U. And it's also coming out in addition to the Wii U, the Wii.
Yeah.
What?
They're going back to the Wii. Yeah.
So serious. What? I saw this, like, it said Wii U and then Wii right next to it. Like, it's coming. This new game, Just Dance 18, is coming out for the Wii. I'm like,
Mhm.
what?
There
Oh,
are
man.
millions and millions of Wii's out there that people still probably buy games for their kids and shit. So I can't.
I suppose, but
I mean, they probably make so much money from
I
putting games.
still
on
rock my Wii. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You know how many kids have Wii's in their house right now?
Yeah, a lot of people.
This one right
Their
here,
parents
this
are
grown
like-
ass kid right here
I
has a
have a
Wii.
Their
Wii
parents
here
are like, "What
too.
should I buy you for Christmas?"
I mean, I have a Wii too, but like I'm just my point remains it's crazy. That's like last gen now. But anyway, we continue now.
Oh yeah, I personally
sorry,
think.
to interrupt.
Oh no! I personally think E3 is all about new titles that I'm looking forward to, and I wasn't really looking forward to anything in Ubisoft. I already knew about Far Cry 5, so seeing more about it was cool. And then that weird game that looked really bad but had the really cool toys on it, I was like.
Starlink.
Yeah, so there were a lot of that. It didn't really excite me. The emotion excited me more than the reveals, honestly. Except for the last one, which was Beyond Good and Evil 2, which I could talk about for the rest of this podcast, so I won't. But just know that I want that game, and that's my favorite reveal of E3 ever. And I know there's no gameplay, and I know there's nothing else, but I don't care. I want it as a movie. I want it as a game. I want it as everything I can ever have. Yes, it was a beautiful movie that I watched, and I've watched the trailer so many times. I will not admit how many times I watched it. Just know that it's amazing, and all of you need to go watch it again. And I'm all about the multiculturalism and my monkeys and my pigs and my chocolate and my blowing up of the police station and all the F-bombs. I'm down for this game.
Really
I
cool.
want it now. It was the best thing I saw at E3. The best thing I saw at E3. That game was made for me. Fuck the rest of the world. It's mine. I don't even care.
Fucking scream it, fucking preach it. Like, that was my announcement for E3. And again, I've not played the first title, Beyond Good and Evil. And
right?
I haven't.
Okay, none of us have played it.
Toby played it.
Well, Toby's not here, and now I'm gonna cry again.
But speaking of crying, the developer came
Just
just
edit in Toby talking about it and then just come back to us and go.
Yeah.
There, we're back.
So without ever playing the first title, I think the way that they revealed it, I think it looked fucking amazing and beautiful. And like Jarrell said, all the fucking multicultural stuff that was going on and just the action and the intrigue, again, I have no idea what the story is about, but just watching it made me fucking excited and made me happy that it was coming. And seeing it, I had a feeling it was going to be Beyond Good and Evil as I was watching it. And once we saw the title card, and then we did have the developers come out on stage, and once again, we had more tears and just people in the audience going crazy. And that's what I love about E3 is that it just felt really fucking good to be part of this community of gamers when we saw that reveal. So Ubisoft won it for me, and they won it when they started it with Mario and Rabbids, and when they fucking finished it with Beyond Good and Evil 2. I felt like that was the loudest mic drop that could have happened. And I am so on board. Ubisoft won E3 for me. You heard it here first. Fucking love this Ubisoft conference.
They did not win it for me.
I know, but
talk about Beyond
you
Good
did
and
approach
Evil
it more logically. But yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead, Kristen. Sorry.
Okay. I was gonna say, but like when the trailer first started, for some reason, I don't know anything about Beyond Good and Evil. Like I probably know like the picture of the box art of that girl. But I was watching it, it started. I started it, and I knew it was Beyond Good and Evil for some reason. Like it was the weirdest thing. I'm like, oh, this is Beyond Good and Evil 2, right? And I'm like, it ended up being that. I'm like, how the fuck did I know that? Like I don't know how. Like for some reason, I just knew that's how the game looked. Maybe it was the talking animals or the pig or something. But I saw that monkey and the pig. And I'm like, oh, this is that game that everybody's talking about. And then watching that whole like this video or this sequence, whatever you want to call it, it's probably not going to be. The game's not going to look like that.
Stop it! Yes, it will. Stop it!
Just saying the truth. It's not going to look like that.
Yes, it is.
You don't know, man.
Maybe the cutscenes or something. I don't know.
Maybe on the Xbox One X.
There you go. Now I got to buy one. I will go buy one for this game.
So while I was watching this, it felt like I was watching something that was part of my childhood, and it was like getting rebooted and like brought back to life or something. And it was something I don't even know anything about, and it got me excited about it. Like I want to play it, and it's a prequel, which I think is the perfect thing for people because a lot of people have not played this game. So if it was an actual sequel, it might turn some people off. But the fact that it's a prequel, it's like, hey, look at this awesome game. You guys can all play it. You don't have to play the first one. This is a whole new thing, almost like a reboot. It feels like, with different characters, a different cast, a brand new story. It's Ubisoft. Like it's gonna be on PS4 and Xbox. Like it was amazing. It was beautiful. Like I saw that trailer starting, and I literally just dropped everything. I was like captivated by like the characters and the accents, like the voice acting. And it's like amazing.
And going back to what you were saying, because the first one released back in 2003. So I think that, like you were saying, it is so good for it to be a prequel. So that way we don't feel this pressure of, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't want to pick up this game, going in there blind because of all the hype that's been surrounding this announcement that people were hoping to get. So I'm totally on board for it being a prequel. So that way, if you then are interested in more, you can go back and try to play the original one. But, even just that it captured that sense of nostalgia and childhood in you, and you had never played it. Like, I think that sums up what good reveals, good trailers, and ultimately good press conferences are supposed to do during this time of year. Again, Jarrell talked about it in a very logical way, where if you removed the emotions, sure, it was probably just an okay press conference. A lot of the stuff that got talked about was stuff we already knew about. I know South Park Phone Destroyer was one of those things that, was a surprise. I had no idea we were going to get a mobile game. And it's, it's not just like and then you're going to get a shitty version of our game on the mobile phone. No, they completely made a new game just for mobile devices. Yeah. So that's really cool for me. Skull and Bones, I kind of got the same feeling of you. It looked really cool, but I think it's going to die pretty fast depending on what all you can do in that game. Mm-hmm. But I really do think that Ubisoft, for me, without the emotions, still won it just because of the way that it started with this collaboration with Nintendo, this game that a lot of people were anticipating, and then confirming what fans had wanted for such a long time with Beyond Good and Evil. Like, to me, it felt like the perfect structure of a press conference. So emotions aside, I still say Ubisoft won it for me. I love it. It was great. Ubisoft, keep doing it. I'm a real big fan. Everything you just did blew my mind. It made me cry. There were real emotions had over here while I was watching your conference. So thank you.
Me too. It's true love we're making.
And speaking of structure, I'm not going to discuss it with Brandon right now, but we had a little argument about them ending with Beyond Good and Evil 2 versus, was it Far Cry 5?
Far Cry 5.
Yeah, so for anyone listening, if you want to tell us what you think, please let us know, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to win, but whatever, we'll see.
You want to elaborate on what that is, just so, let's each give our points, starting with you. Why we thought...
Personally, it's Beyond Good and Evil 2 was everything that Grayson and Marissa said, and I think it was such a high note to end the Ubisoft conference on. It's something that's memorable. It's something that we have to look forward to, and it's not something that we've already gotten footage for and a trailer for and that we already know everything about. This is like... To me, just the emotion that trailer brought out and the emotions that it's bringing out in Grayson and Marissa, I think it's so memorable. When I say Ubisoft, someone's probably going to say Beyond Good and Evil 2. And I think that's why it was such a strong way to end. Especially with, like Marissa said, the emotions of the creators and developers. Like, they're so invested into this world. They, it's brand new. I don't care about Far Cry 5 anymore because they just showed me Beyond Good and Evil. I'm going to go buy Far Cry 5 anyway. But look at this, Brandon. Look at it. I'm done.
Okay. So for just for context, my argument on the issue was the thing about I would have completely agreed with Jarrell about ending with Beyond Good and Evil 2. And in a sense, he is right because, like he said, it left an impression for people at the end of the conference. My only argument was not even the main part that they didn't even show gameplay. My argument for it was rather that this is a game that actually had been announced like previously, but then just kind of like went silent on for like years. And honestly, if they had, in addition to, there was no gameplay, whatever, but if they had also showed like at least a date for it, I probably would have said, yeah, that's a good way to end the conference. But there's also no date, so that tells me that it's still. I'm not saying that they're gonna, leave it in development hell like they did like last time. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that this could be still like really far off, and my argument is just that putting a game that's just like so far away to be brought to us as opposed to a game like Far Cry 5, which a lot of people love and is coming soon. That was my argument about it. That's just like,
I have so many arguments, but we don't have time for them all as to why I agree with Jarrell, and I think Beyond Good and Evil 2 was the perfect way to end it. So we'll have to talk after the podcast.
That's fine. But like Jarrell said, let us know in the comments, like where do you fall on and why and all that good stuff.
Yes, please. I'm so excited. Oh, I didn't get U2's favorite from Ubisoft.
Yes. No, yes, I did forget.
I want to say Beyond Good and Evil. I don't agree. I kind of agree with Brandon. The game is far off.
Yeah, it's very far.
It's very far off. Like they're probably just starting development.
They literally are.
I just hope it doesn't end up like one of those games. Like 3 years from now, you're like, remember that Beyond Good and 2 trailer we got? Yeah, I wonder, like The Last Guardian, like 10-year development cycle type thing.
Which did still come out though.
Yeah, I did.
Just saying.
Look at Final Fantasy 15.
Like, I'm definitely not saying never. I'm definitely not saying never. I do believe this will actually come out this time for sure.
I think Beyond Good and Evil 2 is my pick for best showing. As much as I like Mario Rabbids, that whole collaboration. I knew it was coming like for months and months, so it wasn't too much of a surprise. And I'm not a huge. I feel like it's one of those games where I have to get in my hands and actually play it before I make a conclusion on whether I like it or not.
Oh, thank God, I'm not alone.
I'm not really a huge fan. Like the world is beautiful. Like I love, like it looks hilarious. Like Princess Peach has a rabbit and she's like taking selfies and doing backflips with a cannon. And Luigi's like has his hat tilted, the Luigi rabbit. It looks really stupid and funny. And it seems like they're kind of making. Yeah, he's like a New York Luigi.
Oh, that's great.
He's a hip
description for it.
He's like a little hip Luigi. And it's cool to see Mario. It's cool to see Mario and characters interacting with other characters that aren't in the Mario universe. There's something a little bit different. But like the XCOM style of gameplay looks just kind of, I don't know if I like it or not, but it looks fine. But Beyond wins it.
Same.
It's more memorable.
For me, it's definitely Mario Cross Rabbids. Like, I'm a huge fan of like turn-based strategy games. I've never played XCOM, to be clear. It's been a game that is like maybe I'll try that one day. But this one, I think aesthetically is a little more pleasing to me, based on what I've seen gameplay-wise of it, based on the Ubisoft show, and then when they did the Nintendo Treehouse streams of it. I know enough that I think I'm willing to jump into it. So that's mine.
Sweet. Next up was PlayStation. So what did you guys think of this one?
This one was a
Detroit.
Detroit.
We skipped right to our
Detroit.
No, the only thing I can ever talk about is fucking Detroit until it comes out. Like, I'm bound by contract to my love for this game coming out that I've written for myself that I have to mention it. Yeah, their blood was spilt for this game. I'm so excited for Detroit.
I'm on her floor right now.
That as soon as PlayStation started, like, don't get me wrong, it was a great conference, but I was just like, when are they going to show Detroit?
Literally, she really was.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, she really was. What we were talking about.
She was ready. She was so ready.
Yeah, I was just like, just let me know when Detroit's on. Everything else is fine, but I need Detroit in my life now.
So
anyway.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think PlayStation continually does E3 the right way. Yeah. And if Microsoft would have done what PlayStation did, I probably would have liked Microsoft more. PlayStation took time to show off their indies on the pre-show. And they kept all of their big titles for the show floor. And it was what we all asked for, an hour of games. And it wasn't 44 small indie titles. It was a few really big games that you want to play. And I think that's where PlayStation won over Microsoft. Plus, they had a really cool concert in the beginning that had us all thinking, okay, what's this going to be? What game is this? It sounds like it's this. Maybe it's that. You know,
that was really cool.
That was fun.
Yeah, I remember.
That was for Uncharted, right?
Yeah. And I swore when I was watching The Sand that I saw the AC. No, I totally thought I saw the Assassin's Creed logo, and I was like, not all of this for Assassin's Creed again. We've already talked about it, so I was.
That would have literally had been the third time.
Yeah, I was like, they wouldn't have wasted all that, like, just 2 minutes of music for Assassin's Creed.
And
I mean, maybe if they were like, hey, Microsoft, this is how you talk about Assassin's Creed.
I love that they do that. You know, last year was a huge orchestra for God of War, something none of us was expecting.
That orchestra was so good.
It was amazing. Yeah. This year, you know, we've got more, another performance where we're like, oh, what's it this year? You know, that type of hype, I think, is a really great way to start a conference. And then you don't even talk to me. You talk to me like for 2 minutes. You're like, all right, this is what's going to happen. I know you guys are here for games. I'm obligated to say some shit. But as soon as I'm done, you're going to have an hour of exactly what you want. And
games.
The reason I think they personally do better than Microsoft is because I love indie titles. Don't get me wrong. I think they have a place on the show floor at E3. I think they have a place at conferences at E3. But I also think that you want to give people console-selling games. You want to give them adventures that, and I'm not saying that you won't get these adventures in indies, but you want to give them something like, you know, Horizon. You know, what he did, he mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn, he mentioned Persona 5, he mentioned Neo, like, he was like, look, these are the games you guys have been playing, and we know that you love them, so your future is bright, and let me show you why. Here's an hour of why it is. And it was Uncharted, exclusive. Horizon Zero Dawn DLC, exclusive. Days Gone, exclusive. Monster Hunter, not an exclusive, but a complete surprise. Shadow of the Colossus, I believe exclusive, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Not only an exclusive, another surprise. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, not exclusive. And but we were arguing about the story for the game. Hey, here's some actual story, so you don't think we're bullshitting. I won't go
like what they did with MVC3.
Call of Duty World War II. I know we get a lot of Call of Duty. The reason I appreciated this was because Xbox is always talking about, you know, those big games that you got to play with people, those first-person shooters like Halo and stuff. We didn't get any of that over there. And this was the first time that we got some multiplayer video of World War II. And I know that in our chat it had a lot of people excited. They're going back to their roots. We're going to have a great time. This is what we want from Call of Duty games. So even though it was Call of Duty, it was still something fresh and new that we didn't even get from Xbox, who have been talking about, you know, first-person shooters like Overwatch and such. We didn't get that Microsoft. Xbox, which confused me, but Sony was like, hey, don't forget, we've got that. Now, they did have that section of VR, where I was like, okay, let's move on. But after the VR, we got more God of War 4, something people have been looking forward to, another exclusive. Detroit, another exclusive. Destiny 2, not an exclusive, but hey, here's all the exclusive shit you can get, and something a lot of people are looking forward to. And finally, Spider-Man, which I cannot rave about enough. They gave me Miles Morales at the end of that trailer, and I was like, oh, that was a mic drop for me. Also, another exclusive. So Sony's like, PlayStation's like, hey, you got a PlayStation? This is what the fuck you're gonna play. You can play all that other shit on your Xbox, but you're gonna buy all these titles because they're fucking great. And I loved it. Not only that, I usually complain about PlayStation because they like to show us pretty things, but they never give us dates for them. This year, they were like, Jarrell, we hear you.
But we're not going to give you dates.
No, they did.
Yeah, there's some.
But some games are still like early 2018.
But that's good. God of War, I thought, was another 2 years off, and they were like early 2018, and I was like, bitch,
at least
what?
they narrowed down the year.
Spider-Man, I thought that was another 2-3 years off. They're like, hey, 2018.
Next year.
Was like, what? Like, this is crazy. Like,
I just don't want next E3 to be the same thing.
No, I think that is a complaint of mine. It was very much a 2.0 of last year's E3.
No.
But the reason I'm not so upset about it is because it was still, hey, here's more of what you want, and you're getting it next year. So next year we're going to focus on something else.
These are all really, really big,
They're
like
all
AAA
huge
titles.
games.
So like the fact that they have these titles in their hand, like in their deck, it's just that's saying something.
And
even though we don't know when they're coming out, they are going to come out eventually, and they are going to be really big and probably going to be really good.
And they're all exclusives.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved it. That was just me. I loved it. You guys go ahead.
No, I think I do have to agree more with the point of, this was very much a 2.0 of last year, but, you raise valid points. They're pretty much all exclusives except for, Call of Duty, Marvel vs. Capcom, Monster Hunter, I think, yeah. And Destiny 2. But I do think that the things that they did show, I know that for me, it changed my mind about Days Gone because I was not on the hype train last year because we saw that trailer and yes, it looked great where it was the main character running around in this industrial type area with a fucking bajillion buttload of zombies chasing after him. But then Grayson and I got a seat to watch their demo for it at E3 last year. And it was the same, like almost scripted, the same exact thing that we saw in the trailer. So it was like, okay, wait, what's the point of having a demo when I literally just saw this up on the big screen? So I understand now why it doesn't have a date because apparently this is, just kind of like an incomprehensible massive game. Of course, with the zombies, I would imagine it's not easy to have that many, but finally seeing something else for it, seeing some more gameplay that isn't just running and gunning down these zombies, that does involve stealth, that does involve listening to your environment, that does involve guiding the zombies to your enemies. So I think that they made a lot of smart decisions with how they showcased games, with the trailers that they put out. I'm not a huge fan of the Uncharted series just because, I didn't have a PlayStation when the earlier games are out. And now that I do have them, I just haven't gone back and made time for them. And seeing them open up for Uncharted Lost Legacy the way that they did on top of this amazing trailer, they do. Sony does a fantastic job of getting people excited. And although my heart says Detroit was the most amazing trailer ever, Spider-Man blew me away. Not only with the reveal of Miles Morales, which don't get me wrong, that was the fucking greatest thing really ever. Was. I was so happy to see someone besides Peter Parker.
Finally. Yeah.
It was a really cool moment.
Yeah.
It was one of those like,
but more than anything, while I was watching it, was how smooth this game looked.
Right?
Like, QuickTime commands, which I don't always like, but the way that it works in this combat system looks amazing. It looks like we are going to feel like we're goddamn superheroes because it didn't look clumsy at all. It looked like you're going to be made to feel epic when you play this game. So, of course my heart belongs to Detroit, but my mind told me to get fucking ready because I'm getting Spider-Man when it comes out day one.
I'm so looking forward to like all the Spider-Man stuff that they showed, and the fact that they pulled the Kingpin is a fairly well-known Spider-Man villain, but then they had Mr. Negative, which is a more obscure Spider-Man villain. Makes me wonder who is going to be in this game as far as like villains. There's got to be a good amount.
All I know is that they have to, in Spider-Man tradition, have Shocker at least one time in this fucking game because I love the stupid bullshit missions with Shocker because he's the worst villain in the Spider-Man games of all time, but it's also great.
Is that guy that has he has a cross on his face with like electricity?
Well,
Electro is the one that you might be thinking of. Shocker.
Oh. Yeah, I'm
Shocker fires like shockwaves from his hands, and his face is kind of like.
And he was always the start of every Spider-Man game.
Yeah, so Shocker was the first boss of Spider-Man to enter Electro.
Yeah, there has to be a Shocker cameo. That's the only thing. There doesn't have to be Peter Parker. Fuck Peter Parker. I don't care what chick is in it. I mean, if Spider-Gwen's in it, like, I'm fucking for it. But at the same time, like, I'm already good. But Shocker has to fucking be in the shit. or else I'm going to be a little upset. But then I'm going to forget about how upset I am because the gameplay looks fucking fantastic. So those are my notes on Spider-Man.
I also like Kraven the Hunter because he would work great in this video game system. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
There's literally no. Okay, forget it. Anyways.
I just thought it looked really good. I don't know anything about Spider-Man.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Did anyone, by the way, try out the story demo for Marvel vs. Capcom since we're kind of on the subject of the Sony games?
No, but I thought that was cool too that it was released that same time.
Yeah. Well, asterisk on that because I did check it after the conference. It wasn't quite out. It was more like the following morning. But either way, it came out relatively soon after the Sony conference, so that was neat. I tried that out. Story's nothing to write home about. It's like a fighting game story, but like a lot less stuff. It was more to showcase, hey, look at all these cool Capcom and Marvel heroes that are in this story actually interacting with each other against this common threat. But otherwise, there's nothing really story on. But you get to try out a bunch of the characters too, so that's nice. Yeah.
It reminds me of like the Subspace Emissary from
I was just gonna say that.
Like all these characters coming together, they don't really fit together, but they somehow fit in this world, and they just have one common enemy.
Oh so, man, Thor and Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins together was probably the best combo that they had.
Mega Man and Chris Redfield, like what the fuck?
Yeah,
I could make a dirty joke, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Okay, later when the children aren't around.
When we're off, tell us the dirty joke. But when the story actually develops, which is it's not there yet certainly, but when the story actually develops, I'm looking forward to seeing how that's gonna go. And yeah, like you said earlier, Marissa, Days Gone definitely looks a lot more improved this year. So that's Sony for me. Spider-Man, Days Gone, Marvel vs. Capcom. Those are the three that I'm looking forward to.
Detroit, Spider-Man. I mean, there's a bunch. They had a lot of good titles. It's nothing against Sony. It's just that my heart completely belongs to Detroit.
For me, we really talk about it, but they announced Monster Hunter World. Well, Capcom did at least.
That's true.
I'm just like, that's probably one of my favorite announcements. Like this surprise announcement that happened at E3 because like I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan, and we haven't had first of all, Sony hasn't had Monster Hunter since like the PSP, right? Yeah, for years and years. Nintendo's been the Monster Hunter system, at least for the 3DS, and we've had console Monster Hunter games for Wii and Wii U, but we had Monster Hunter 3 for the Wii and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for Wii U, which is sort of like an add-on to 3. But this is like the first time the Monster Hunter has been on like home consoles. It was on PS2, but like now it's on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and you're gonna be able to play multiplayer, drop in, drop out gameplay, which has never been done before.
That's cool.
You have the power of these new consoles, and this game's gonna look beautiful. And this is like not in like a add-on to like an existing game. Like this is like a full-blown new title in the Monster Hunter series. Like it's gonna be really good. And I don't have PlayStation Plus because I don't play any games online. But this is the game that will get me to buy a PlayStation Plus again because I will want to play this online. Because Monster Hunter Online is like the funnest thing ever. Like I put like 200 hours in the Wii version like years ago. So I'm just super excited to play Monster Hunter like on a good-looking console because the Wii and Wii U are kind of like don't have the best graphics. So this game is really going to be just spectacular, I think.
I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully
it comes
best
out.
Best game ever, asterisk.
I know that I
when the game is out.
Yeah, because I'm about Monster Hunter games on the 3DS kind of turned me off because I would play it for a few hours, but then the game's ugly, to be honest. And I want to play Monster Hunter. I want to play Monster Hunter on my TV, like on a console. That's a game I don't really like playing on the go. I want to play like at home.
And Sony heard you.
With voice chat, and Sony heard me. Or Capcom heard me. And it comes out early next year. But they haven't said that's for Japan or the West or whatnot. But hopefully it comes out like worldwide.
Well, hopefully if they showed it in the West, it's coming to the West around that time.
That's true.
I would be a little
Capcom
upset.
always release Monster Hunter games like a year early, and then it'll come out here in the West. So I think this is gonna be like a worldwide like release simultaneous.
Asterisks.
So I know that I talked a lot about how amazing I thought the PlayStation conference was. Having said that, I probably only want to play like 3 games. I know I am a contradiction of myself all the time. And those 3 are Days Gone, and Spider-Man and Detroit. And my favorite's going to have to go to Detroit, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you. I already did, but I'm so happy.
Me too. And I love Spider-Man, but my number ones are those story games that have me sitting at the edge of my seat. And Detroit, it's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
I'm ready to die.
Yep, I'm so ready for the death.
I'm ready for the death. So the final press conference was Nintendo, and I know we got some Nintendo fans here.
Where are you, my friend?
So what did you guys think of Nintendo?
Oh, man. You want to go first, Brandon?
I'd love to go first.
What?
All right. Yeah, so no, I said I'd love to go first.
Okay.
So yeah, they started with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which that game looks amazing. Unfortunately, and the fact that it's still coming out in the holiday of this year is fantastic. Like that's craziness right there. Unfortunately, as much as I'm excited for that game, I'm probably not going to get it right away because I still haven't finished the first one. I haven't started Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U. So it'll be a fun game to get sometime down the road. It looks fantastic, but yeah, it's just going to have to wait for now. And this is in no particular order. It's cool that Rocket League's coming for the Switch. I love Rocket League on the PS4.
Yeah.
There is one bad thing though. Like not too long after they did the announcement and they put they said cross network play, and that's true. You can play on PC and then Xbox. You cannot.
And
play
Sony was like, no.
Well, let me
you
just
don't get to
say.
play with us.
Let me just say, Sony's working towards it. So yeah, one of the things that I think, one of the reasons that Sony was talking about, they're reluctant a little bit to do this is because a lot of the games that they're trying to cross-platform for are even though everyone plays them, the target audience can be younger kids. And it has been so far difficult for them to find a way to get their licensing and their servers and their server and agreements on how they play the game and how they allow their younger crowd to play the game to coincide with the same way that Xbox Live works and how they do it. So for PlayStation, it's pretty much been we have to figure out how to keep the kids that play these games safe, while also letting them experience the game with more people, if that makes sense. So that's why they've been a little reluctant on cross-platform play. But please continue about it.
Well, and see, I don't even really, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm so for cross-platform play. I think it's going to be awesome. But when I saw the announcement for Rocket League on Switch, I was just excited because I have it, but it's one of those titles I only kind of go to if I'm passing time while I wait for someone to come on. It's not like something I play regularly all the time, but I could totally see taking it into my room and just chilling, or like going downstairs, just taking it somewhere else and playing Rocket League. I don't know why that game, even more than some of the other titles I saw, I was like, holy shit, that would be so awesome to take it on the go. I think Rocket League is a perfect game for it that maybe people didn't even necessarily consider, except for, if you've been following any type of rumor about it or anything. But when I heard Rocket League for the Switch, I got so excited. It was just one of those moments where it's like, I didn't even know I needed this until you said it, and I want it now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I played a lot of Rocket League, so I would definitely. I don't know if I'll buy for my Switch, but if it was for the right price, I definitely would.
Same. Yeah. And hopefully, if they ever do get the cross play, that would be good, because then I could actually play with all my friends who have it for PS4. That'd be nice.
I wonder how that would work, though.
I don't know either, but
how would you find your Xbox friends? Which I'm still kind of weary about, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. So continuing on. So there was two. I'm gonna kind of consolidate these because they're both games that are coming out next year. but I'm talking about the new Yoshi and the new Kirby game, which are just placeholdered as Yoshi and Kirby. Oh boy, so those games look fantastic. I love Kirby games. I like Yoshi games too, but Kirby I'd say more so for me. Those games just look beautiful. Kirby, I like the fact that it's going to be combining the abilities and stuff like that. There's previous Kirby's games that did that, but this is a little bit different. And then it's like Superstar where you can make the party members from enemies, but now you can just
computers. Yeah,
you can be computers, or your friends can play as them. And I don't know, it looks fun. I definitely got to see more of it, but like it's coming out next year, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunity for them to do that. And then Yoshi, I thought at first that it was a new Woolly World, but looking closer, it's definitely not. It's just Yoshi. It's in the style of Yoshi Story, I'd say.
Yeah, it looks so cute.
It's
I'm
very beautiful.
so excited.
It really, really does.
And they announced that it's being developed with the Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my god.
It's really cool for a Nintendo system.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like
they announced that.
But like most 2018 games, like it's time to whenever I view 2018 games, of course we're having this conversation now here on the conference and this podcast and everything, right? And we talk about it and we enjoy it. But when it comes to 2018 games, I just kind of we talk about it, get hyped, and then we move on until we hear more information because it's a long ways away.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
it's funny because Nintendo said before the conference that they were focusing on games that are coming out this year, and they announced are coming out next year. As soon as they announced whatever the first game was, they announced 2018. I was like, okay, cards off the table, like anything could be announced at this point. And they announced they announced like 5 or 6 games that aren't coming out this year, so they lied.
They straight up lied.
Oh no, they lied to us.
I am so happy that Nintendo lied to us, which is a weird thing to say.
Yeah, I'm very happy because I got some announcements that I really loved.
Exactly, like let's be real. If they had done the Bethesda thing where everything that they announced in their conference was coming out this year,
we'd be like, the Switch is dead. I'm selling it after 2017.
Yep, that is true.
That's true. So no, it's fine that they focused on 2017 games. But it's nice that we got a few 2018 announcements here and there. Mm-hmm. And that actually is a good segue into 2 other. Well, one of them was just a straight up so these 2 announcements was literally nothing shown. They felt more like damage control, but I don't care. I'm hyped. The first one, this is the biggest damage control announcement, was the announcement that, hey, we're working on a main core Pokemon game for the Switch. That was super damage control after the Pokemon Direct because there's a lot of people so mad about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and that Pokemon Tournament Deluxe is the only Pokemon Switch game coming out right now. People were like, "Oh no, they're just gonna keep releasing 3DS games."
Which they should. But that's for another podcast.
Long live the 3DS.
Thank you, Marissa.
You're welcome, Jarrell.
I'm excited for Ultra Sun. I know none of you are going to play it, but I'll
Nope.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll enjoy by myself, guys.
Have fun, Brandon.
I will have fun. Anyway. Yes, and the other one was the one that I think has gotten one of the most buzzes. Is like the Metroid Prime 4 confirmation.
Yeah, you have the other damage control.
That's the other damage control because Metroid, the last 2 Metroid games have been like very much split between. There's a lot of people that did not like Other M. A lot of people didn't like Federation Force. So
Metroid I don't even count that as a Metroid game, but
it's a spinoff. It's a spinoff, and even if it was good, it's a spinoff. So the fact that Metroid, they haven't had an actual full Metroid game since 2009. The Wii U didn't have a single one aside from re-releases on the Virtual Console. But so here it is. Here's Metroid Prime 4 now in development. Nothing was shown, so who knows how long that'll be. But hey, it's there. Metroid Prime is not dead. I'm so happy I love Metroid Prime. I can't. They actually have gameplay for it. What else? They also talked. We got
another Metroid game.
That's right. That's what I was gonna say next. This was not in the Direct or the Spotlight or the conference, however you want to pronounce it. It was a Spotlight. Whatever. Yes. Almost immediately after the trailer started, we got there's a 2D Metroid coming. Now, granted, it's a remake, but I've seen gameplay of Metroid 2. I own it, but I've never actually played it myself.
Yeah, that game's kind of rough.
It is kind of rough. It was an early Game Boy Metroid game, and a lot of people didn't play it because it's just
It
a
was
lot
rough.
of people. It was rough. Yeah. That's Metroid. Super Metroid is the one, of course, that always is when Metroid fans talk. That's the one they talk about.
Yeah, probably one of the best ones.
Exactly. So this game is just a 2D Metroid style, but with 3DS graphics, but like modern graphics, quote unquote. And I think that looks cool. It's taking the good stuff from Other M, like the melee attack, for example, for counters.
Yeah, the camera kind of zooms in and out of Samus and kind of change the perspective, which I really like. I'm still kind of on the fence whether or not I wanted it to be like a retro 2D game. But after seeing like the that camera stuff and how Samus looks and everything, I'm kind of okay with this the style, the graphics, how it looks.
Hey Grayson, I'm actually really glad that you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because there's between Metroid fans, there's been an internal struggle between the Metroid fans, let's say, that when the new game was supposed to be coming out, like, oh, I want a new Prime game, bring me a new Prime game. And then the classic people were like, no, I want a new game like Super Metroid. That's what real Metroid is. Hey, what about both? You're getting both.
Exactly.
And a Prime.
Why not both? Yeah, these two announcements, like that, Metroid was like the highlight of E3 for me, because I'm a huge Metroid fan. Like I recently, like just the past like year or two, I've been playing I played Metroid Zero Mission for the first time. I replayed Super Metroid. Like I was like getting myself ready for some kind of announcement. Like every E3, it's like, hey, maybe we're getting Metroid. Nope. And another year passes, you don't get Metroid. Another year passed, no Metroid. And I actually liked Metroid Other M, which came out like in 2010, I think, like 7 years ago. So like the last time I played like an actual Metroid game, and it's finally time. Like Metroid Prime 4 is probably that game's probably not coming out until at least 2019. At least we know it's coming out. Like you said, it's damage control for Federation Force coming out, and fans hating that game, and Nintendo knew it was like, okay, this game's coming out. It's not being made by Retro, the past developers of Metroid Prime, but the head behind it all has made the Metroid Prime games as well. So it should be really good. And the 3DS game comes out in August, so like it's coming out very, very soon. And I'm very happy to have like a new 2D Metroid to play on my 3DS. Proving that the 3DS still has a good library too. Like they're really pushing that system. Like
I'm so happy you just said that, Grace.
Yeah.
We have Monster Hunter Stories, which I'm actually very excited for too on the 3DS. And I'm gonna play Metro on my 3DS. I'm not gonna play Ultra Sun and Moon, but 3DS is still going strong. They said they're gonna support it past 2018. So I mean that system is like the Switch is not here to replace the 3DS, and I can admit that.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Let me say something real quick about 2018 3DS releases. Yeah. So so there's 3DS releases coming into 2017, and we got I know of 4 games now that are coming out in the 2018 for 3DS. The 3 Atlas localizations that they announced, which was a SMT Strange Journey reboot, Radiant History, and then Etrian Odyssey 5. And then again, this was off the Nintendo Spotlight. This was in the Treehouse a few 2 days later. That Sushi Striker game, whether you are excited about it or not, that's a 2018 3DS release.
And then Monster Hunter Stories too, right? Is next year, I think.
No, I think they said that's still in track.
Is it coming out this year? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know when. I think later in maybe August or something. But yeah, that's
that game. That game came out a year ago in Japan.
I know some of these localizations take a while. If it's not like a high profile.
It's always Monster Hunter. It's always Capcom.
It's always Monster Hunter. It's taking surprisingly. Well, I don't know. Like Atlas games are pretty quick to localize, but all 3 of those games I mentioned, I think, are coming out late this year for 3DS. So I guess early 2018 is one of the best case scenarios for that. But anyway, let's move along. Fire Emblem Warriors, finally glad to see more.
Mark speaks in fucking English. Blew my mind. So
Marissa's choice of besting E3. Mars speaks fucking English.
No, I remember though when we were in chat, and it was me and Christy. First thing, as soon as Marth opened his mouth, we both, Marth is speaking in English. What the fuck? That was exciting. More than that whole trailer, I was excited for Marth in English, and that would be the reason I would buy it, because Marth is bae.
That game
I just could never understand him.
I'm not excited for that game at all, to be honest. Actually,
not a Warriors fan.
Yeah, I used to play Dynasty Warriors when I was like a teenager, like 12 years old. But then I played Hyrule Warriors for a few hours, and I'm like, okay, I get it. It's like Dynasty Warriors or Zelda characters, but I'm not feeling it. And this game is pretty much the same.
It's the same, yeah.
I'm not even that much of a. I'm a Fire Emblem fan, but I'm not like as much of a fan as Fire Emblem as I was with Zelda. So this game is really not. It's something I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
But it's really cool for people who like Fire Emblem and who like that Musou gameplay. Is that what it's called? Like Musou?
Yeah, Musou. Musou's his Japanese name. I usually refer to it as Musou myself personally because it's more identifiable than just warriors, you know?
Like you say that and you immediately understand it's you hitting buttons and killing 1,000 enemies at once.
Exactly.
Well, Mark speaks in English.
And Mark's speaking English. And, and it has those little Fire Emblem, the character stats. Yeah, a little level up noise and things like that. But it's the Warriors game, and then with Fire Emblem characters. So
yeah,
it's cool. I wonder what they're gonna do next. Maybe they're gonna do like a I don't know, some other series. I don't know what other series will work with.
But guys, that's in the future. We're talking about E3.
That's true.
Right? This whole conversation has been a lot of, hey, the treehouse 2 days later.
Well, I mean, it's all Nintendo, so I'm just trying to like consolidate it into like one thing because it is game announcements. But yeah, I'll try to we'll talk about that after the podcast.
And then the big announcement, of course, was the whole unveiling of Super Mario Odyssey, which just looks beautiful. It looks amazing. We weren't scared that it wasn't gonna be fantastic. It's a 3D Mario game, and that looks fantastic. Like that trailer was awesome with the fucking dinosaur and Mario throwing his cap on the dinosaur and taking him over and then showing that whole mechanic. It looks awesome.
That game looks so good.
And you got Pauline as the mayor. She's back. She's not being captured by Donkey Kong anymore.
Oh man, it's so good. It's so good.
And then that jazz theme song.
That jazz song was so good. I love that jazz song so much. That jazz song was so good. No, this game, like Super Mario Odyssey, I talked to Grayson before we started the podcast. This, I think there's a very high chance that this is going to be the best core Mario game to come out. It is taking the best parts of 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy and put it into one game. You have those many levels within the level that are Sunshine and Galaxy based. You have this big open world that you can explore with like actual like stuff in it, like Sunshine. And then of course you have the good platforming, 3D platforming that was introduced with 64. It's just all of that rolled into one and more stuff. And instead of doing just traditional power-ups, you're just possessing enemies and taking their powers. It's great.
Buy the game.
Super Mario Odyssey.
And then you'll be able to play it on the go with your Switch. We're just like it's amazing.
You can walk through New York while you play and you dunk.
It's not coming out in December. It's not coming out in November. It's not coming down in late
October. It comes out October.
That was surprising. That's fucking awesome.
We only have to wait 4 more months for this game to come out. That's great. That's fantastic. Yeah, no contest. For me, there's a lot of cool Nintendo games that we talked about for the Nintendo Spotlight. Odyssey wins all the way. Like, there's no, like, Odyssey, no question. Absolutely no.
Yeah, and Nintendo had to show why people needed to buy a Switch if they hadn't bought one already. And this presentation was just like, they showed a lot of games that are coming out for the Switch and games that are coming out in the future. And they really just got the presentation down. I think this is one of the best presentations I've ever seen. And they didn't spend too much time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 25 minutes, but there was plenty to talk about. And it was short and sweet. That was fine. Honestly, we talked about this even before E3, and we saw all these trailers for all these different games for Odyssey in particular. We said from the start that the Switch, this is its first year and it needs some good games to sell well. If Odyssey did get delayed, it was going to really hurt the Switch sales because that's a big system seller right there, Super Mario Odyssey. So the fact that, 1, the game is looking even better than ever now that they showed all this new stuff at E3, and 2, that the fact that it is definitely coming out by the end of this year, sooner than any of us thought, I think it's going to help with sales like immensely. Just those two things right there, for sure.
Well, and it's also and it's coming out the first year of the system launching. We have like the 3D Mario game is coming out the first year, like less than a year when the system released, and that never happened. Like, we got Super Mario Galaxy a few years after the Wii came out,
64.
Super Mario 3. Super Mario 64 was the only launch 3D Mario game that came out.
Yeah.
It's in the systems first, coming out, and everything always has come late and later. But this is this first year of the Switch has been really good. Like you can take the whole library of the games this year, and that's it's amazing. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
I don't know about all of that.
All right, Jerome.
What I will say is I think they did a really good job at showing how to sell the Switch. I completely agree with you. I think they looked at what they're missing. Really quick, what I will say is that I was missing 2 titles that I was looking forward to, which included Animal Crossing and a Smash Bros. Port. And I got Pokken, which I love, so I'll take Pokken for what it is, as it is, because I wanted to play that anyway. But I'm still missing my
What I was gonna say in regards to those 2, yes, because here's the thing: Animal Crossing was I gotta be honest, I would love an Animal Crossing Switch, and I know that has to be on the way because that's both the console and handheld Animal Crossing. It's literally the future because it solves both problems. Because you enjoy console Animal Crossing because that's your good graphics. And then you also want a handheld because that's the kind of game you want to take places. Switch does both. But the only reason why I didn't think Animal Crossing was coming out in this E3 was because of all that big stuff they added to New Leaf and the fact that there's a mobile game for Animal Crossing coming. In fact, I'm actually surprised that we didn't get any information on the Animal Crossing mobile thing because that seems to be their next project. But that's neither here nor there. As for Smash, that is something I expected in this press conference. I won't lie that I was also a little disappointed that we didn't hear about that in this one. Only reason why I think they didn't, because I think they have to be doing that because they know, it's obvious. Only thing is because I think they just want to promote their other fighting games coming out, like ARMS and Splatoon, and then Pokken is coming out as well. ARMS out now, wasn't out then.
You're right.
I could totally, honestly, there are some crazy people out there who's like, yeah, ARMS is amazing. I can't wait to play ARMS. What's that? Smash Bros. Is getting ported. Cancel my pre-order for ARMS right now. I'm going to just
but it didn't have to be this year. They're not going to wait a year when ARMS is out at the end of the week.
I think there's a Nintendo Direct coming a little bit later. I don't think we're going to the end of this year without Smash getting announced. I just think for purposes of making sure their current games sell, they just wanted to wait. ARMS is out. People that wanted it bought it. Now they can go ahead and promote Smash whenever they're ready. Probably, I'm going to call it. I'm going to say November, around that time. The holidays. Holidays is when I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, because then that'll get kids hyped too and be like, I want a Switch for Christmas. And then Nintendo will have to be like, fuck, so many people want a Switch for Christmas. How do we do this?
And but it'll be exciting because all 3 of those games we mentioned, Splatoon, ARMS, and Pokken, all be out. People that wanted it got it. Now you can also get Smash. You don't have to cancel your pre-order or your purchase of those other games.
Then you'll have a Switch for Yoshi.
Yeah.
Which is the most important.
Which was
right, guys?
That's actually something I was going to talk about. Which is another reason I liked the Nintendo Direct. I think they did a wonderful job at making us care about games that we didn't know that we wanted on the Switch.
Yes.
I didn't know I wanted a Kirby or a Yoshi. Exactly. And then they showed it to me. I was like, oh, yeah, that's good to have on the first year of this console that we're missing. It's good to go back and refresh those Nintendo titles and give them to us. And we hear about them based on what we've seen on the Direct. And then even the Legend of Zelda DLC packs, it got me into thinking, I should probably finish Zelda because these look kind of cool.
Sure.
So yeah, I agree. I think Nintendo did a really good job at making us care about titles that we see every year. Not that we see every year, but I think they did a good job at making us care about Yoshi and Kirby and Xenoblade Chronicles. And even Fire Emblem. And a lot of them are coming out this year, like the Surprise of Mario Odyssey coming out this year. So overall, I think, like you guys said, I think they did a really good job as well. I was very happy to be a Switch owner. I think they did a better job selling the Switch than Microsoft did selling the Xbox One X, but we're done. I know, I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. But they did. They've got the exclusives for us. They've got the games that their franchise are known for. And they did a good job overall.
But It's a different situation.
It is.
But we'll just end it there because
yeah, I just wanted to touch.
E3's over. We're almost over.
It is.
It's over, but
Everything's
it continues
over.
in our heart.
Speaking of over, so Marissa, what was your favorite from the Nintendo Direct?
Oh, my favorite from the Nintendo Direct would probably be Yoshi when it comes to games, but I'm really excited to learn more in the future about this Pokemon RPG.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be really cool to hear what kind of path it's going to follow down. A lot of people have been talking about wanting something like Stars to come to the Switch, and that's not what I want. I want something like Coliseum. I want something like Stadium. I want one of those types of Pokemon games where, of course there's going to be your typical Pokemon fighting. There's going to be some going out and catching some of them, if not all of them. But I want a good story. So that they have one in development, even if it was kind of just like, burn control and picking up a mess from the Pokemon Direct. I'm excited to hear that there's something in the works. And I was, I'm not upset to hear that we might not even get it next year. It just has more proof of why it's good to be a Switch owner, because we already have things that are that far out, along with good titles now and with good titles next year. So yeah, I think a combination of those two are what I am most excited about from the Nintendo conference.
And then you guys?
For me, it's Metroid Prime. The announcement that they're making a fourth one. Even though I didn't see any footage, it's just really exciting to know it's coming.
Brandon?
Odyssey, thank you.
That's all. We're finished.
Detroit,
here.
Odyssey, Beyond Good and Evil 2. These are the games we're looking forward to. I don't know which one Grayson's is. He didn't say one right out.
Oh, like game of the show, the entire thing.
Yeah.
The game of the show for me is Odyssey, for sure.
Wow.
All of them, Grayson. Which one out of
all the games?
All the games.
I want to say Monster Hunter, even though it's not. I mean, yeah, sure, just Monster Hunter PS4.
No, that's cool. That's your game.
That's so deflated when you.
That's something that's coming soon instead of a random.
Who cares?
It's
that's awesome.
Yeah, Monster Hunter. I really like that game.
Yeah, my Switch game, because I didn't say it, is also the Pokemon RPG, just to see what they're going to do with it, because of all the reasons Marissa said, so there's no reason for me to repeat them. I 100% agree with everything she said.
I think they're going to put Diamond and Pearl remakes on there next.
Stop it.
Oh.
I don't know.
Switch,
This is where we have a divide. I think that they might still stay on the 3DS.
Yeah.
I think that the 3DS is going to become the new Vita when people talk about. Are they even going to mention it?
They said it's a mainline game, so that means it has to be the 8th generation.
Yeah, I think it's 8th gen.
Pokemon Coliseum is not a mainline Pokemon game.
No, they said it was okay.
The core Pokemon game was there.
They said a core RPG.
That means getting badges, going to the Pokemon League,
and
Pokemon.
Maybe it's what we've all been wanting, is where you start out as a trainer and you go to every one of the islands. I'm cool with that. I think a remake of an old game is going to
be crap
the 3DS.
On the Switch. Yeah.
No,
yes.
to the 3DS.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
So all 7 regions in one game.
Yeah. Fuck it. This is the Switch. We're supposed to be able to do whatever we want, right?
Huge.
We can break the Switch apart. That's how we're supposed to play it.
Yeah, exactly.
Give us regions so we can travel everywhere. If they can bring Skyrim to the Switch, they can fucking bring me every region in Pokemon.
Yeah, give me
Drop
64 badges.
Walk away.
64 badges.
I'm ready for the challenge.
Give me a boss rush mode, or you fight 20 Elite Four members.
Based on the
20 Elite
that
Four.
they gave,
Yeah.
I didn't think that it was going to be a mainline Pokemon game. To me, the description sounded like they're working on something new for the Switch. That is a core RPG that is not going to be what we get on 3DS. But I guess we'll see. Anyway, that was my favorite. we've got everyone's favorites from the conference. I think this was a great discussion. Remember, if there's something that we missed or something that you think, you agree, disagree, please feel free to follow us on Twitter. Let us know. Write us in the comments on YouTube. Write us reviews on iTunes. Whatever you want to do, we are there. Thank you all for listening. It's been a wonderful, albeit a little long, a wonderful conversation about E3, and I can't wait to hear what everyone else has to think about it. So thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.